So in today's Ask Atreyu video, I'm going to be answering one of your questions, and it has to do with how often to retwist and what to do about curly ends. Want to hear my thoughts on it? Let's get to it. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Atreyu. Welcome to my channel. This channel is all about spreading and exuding positivity. It's about unconditional love, and it's about lock care and even lock repair for those of us who kind of find ourselves on the not so good path. In today's video, which is an Ask Atreyu video, I'm going to be answering one of your questions, and it comes from StudGirl3232. It reads, "Thank you so much. My girlfriend started my locks, but I must say I get frustrated sometimes because my hair is curly. So I have a question. How often should I retwist my locks? And how can I get the ends not to curl up? Is it a patience thing? Because I'm learning, trust me. LOL." So yes, thank you very much, StudGirl3232, for this question. Just gonna get right into it. As far as how often you should retwist, I did already answer you, but I want to say this so that all the viewers can hear my response. It depends on a lot of factors. First of all, you should ask yourself, do you know whether or not your hair grows into your locks? When I say your hair, I mean your new growth. When your hair grows, does it grow into the locks? Evidence of the fact that it does not grow into your locks is that your parts are no longer recognizable. Your hair is kind of like a throwy mess near the scalp, okay? If that is the case, then your hair, your new growth grows away from your locks. And so that's going to play a role in how often you should retwist, because something that I've learned from my own personal experience is that if your hair grows away from your locks and you don't retwist often enough, then some of your locks can actually thin out and break off. They're not thinning your locks. No, let me be clear. Your locks aren't thinning because you don't have hair at the scalp. The locks are thinning because the hair at the scalp is not going into the lock. And so that's why it thins out. I have tons of videos talking about this already, so check them out. So if you notice that your hair grows away from your locks, and maybe you've gone, 2 or 3 months, and you notice that your locks are getting thin, especially closest to the scalp, then that could be a sign that your hair grows away from your locks and you need to retwist more often. So there was a period of time when I retwisted every 2 months, every 3 months, and I noticed my locks were thinning out, and I could have lost a lot of my locks had I not figured out what was going on. Then I started back to my normal routine of retwisting once a month, just a light retwist, not super tight, and I got things back in order. So it depends on you. It depends on how your new growth grows, if it grows into the lock or away from your locks. It depends on your hair type. I mean, there are many different things, so I can't really tell you how often you should retwist. The best advice that I can give you is pay attention to what your hair is doing. If your locks are thinning out, then something needs to be done. Now, the other scenario is that your hair grows into your locks. So a lot of people who have hair like that, they don't have to really retwist super often at all, because since their hair is staying in the lock, their locks aren't thinning out with time. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I so wish my hair didn't grow away from my locks, because I would definitely be one of those people that only retwisted like once a year. But as it stands now, I retwist every 2 months, and that is working for me. It's a good balance for me. As I said, that's the best advice that I can give you in terms of how often to retwist. Pay attention to what your locks are doing, and your locks will inform you as to how you should proceed and what frequency and what regimen you should adopt, okay? Yes, you know it. That whole curling up thing, is it a patience thing? Yeah, it definitely is a patience thing. Some people, honestly, I think I saw one woman on YouTube who had locks. Her locks at that time, and it's been probably like over a year since I encountered this video, but her locks were like 4 years old and she still had curly ends, believe it or not. So it really depends on the individual and their hair type, and probably a whole bunch of other factors that I'm not gonna list because it would take too much time, and this video is already getting long. But it just depends. It is a patience thing. I would say that, hey, you know, give it some time. Just try to enjoy the journey. I had this thought. I'm about to go on a slide. I'm about to go on a tangent. I apologize. But I had this thought. You know, a lot of us say that we're on a lock journey, right? But we should almost call it a lock destination, because as soon as we get locks, we're trying to get immediate hang time. We're trying to get immediate natting up, right? Like we're trying to get to that end goal. But it's like we're so quick to say we're on a lock journey, right? A journey is not necessarily this quick thing. So I just invite you to really embrace the journey for what it is. The journey involves frizziness. The journey entails it taking time for your hair to mat up and taking even more time for it to get longer, right? All these things that we want immediately are going to, trust me, I can say this from personal experience as well, it's going to mean so much more and hold that much more value for you if you have to wait, which we do, to get those things, right? Barring lock extensions, barring the instant jet lock method, you know, these things, when you wait for them, it has been my experience that it means so much. And I think I'm at the point now, I mean, I'm approaching my 3-year, 10-month mark, and I'm at the point where I don't even really think about my locks anymore, you know. If I have to do maintenance, then I think about them. If they get dry or feel dry, or my scalp feels dry, then I'll think, okay, yeah, let me oil my scalp or whatever. But I don't really, my mind is not, it's rarely on my locks these days. And I can say that is a great place to be, because I'm no longer like obsessing over them. They're not, you know, occupying my headspace every waking hour. And then when I do look at them, it's like, wow, they're getting longer, or wow, they're like really maturing, or wow, they've really matted up. So with the curly ends, yes, it's definitely a patience thing. I would say try to hold out if you can, to give your locks a chance to do whatever it is they're gonna do. After some time is passing, you know, if it's really bothering you, then you can look into blunting your ends. You know, there are tons of videos on YouTube where people will show you how to blunt the ends, because they don't like those wispy curly ends that you're talking about. But I would say, you know, just try to embrace it. That would be my advice, because if you can't embrace these aspects of this lock journey, then it's not going to be any fun for you. So hopefully this answers your question, StepGirl3232. Thank you for asking it. And for anyone else, if you have any more questions that you want me to answer in an Ask Atreyu video, don't hesitate to send them my way. As always, please learn to love unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. Sebbies is out.